What an absolute mess Star Wars is right now. It's a joke almost at this point. So there's a lot of news to cover. So I'm going to cover this real quick because I didn't make a video on it when it dropped. And that's that Palpatine is a clone. All right. So this was, if you remember Rise of Skywalker, there was the visual novel that revealed that he was brought back because of Sith cultists, right? There's a whole army of Sith people on Exegol, right? And they said they used alchemy and other strange methods to bring him back. And that was it. That was it. Well, it turns out some of the methods that they used were cloning, and they used their powers to bring his spirit and put it in the clone body. Now, the reason this is kind of funny is this is directly stolen from the extended universe that's now called Legends. I believe it was in Dark Empire where this was discussed, because the Emperor returned in the EU and he was through cloning methods, and they put his soul in a clone. They literally stole this from the EU, which is funny because it flies in the face of Kathleen Kennedy, who went and did an interview and talked about how hard it was to write this stuff because they don't have books and comics to go on. You're literally stealing stuff from books and comics. But that's okay. It's okay. We'll go ahead and brush this one off. The next thing that just came out is absolutely hilarious, and that's that Star Wars reveals Rey's father is a veiled Palpatine clone. It's like,
just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
They go and pull something like this, which is an absolute joke. So, I'm not going to worry about spoilers. If you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker at this point, it's kind of on you. But Rey is the daughter of Palpatine. Well, the granddaughter of Palpatine. And I remember when this was revealed, people were like, well, who, got it on with Grandpa Palps there, He's pretty gross. Well, it turns out that Rey's father is just another clone. It's another clone of Palpatine. It's one that didn't work out very well. It was kind of powerless. So he kind of set the clone loose to continue the bloodline through more natural methods. And that's basically it. So the clone was released to go have a baby. And that baby was Rey. Kind of stupid. And it screams last minute writing, which is maybe why they didn't include it in the movie itself. It's in the novel. They have it cut out right here, Palpatine's son page. So I don't know. Who comes up with this stuff, man? How these people all still have their jobs, how these people still keep working on Star Wars, how Kathleen Kennedy still has a job. I have no idea. That baffles me more than the stupidity that went into Rise of Skywalker with garbage like this. I don't understand how she still works there. And then, you had the High Republic people running around acting like a bunch of jackasses online, telling fans they're trash. I've done a couple videos on that. It's like, can the state of Star Wars get any worse? Mandalorian is the only saving grace that we've gotten from Lucasfilm. And I guess you can say the resurrection of the Clone Wars cartoon is a saving grace. But other than that, what do we have? High Republic, the Star Wars trilogy from Disney, which is a mess. A complete mess. And it doesn't get any worse than this. Okay? Doesn't get any worse than this. I don't know how these people still have jobs. I'm in the wrong business. I should be working at Lucasfilm, because it seems like you can just screw everything up and just keep on working. In fact, you can even go up to customers and slap them in the face and still keep working. It's probably the most job security you can ever find in the world, next to being like a weatherman, is getting a job at Lucasfilm. If you run the company, you're set. All you got, Kathleen Kennedy, I don't know how many icebergs she could ram that ship into. I don't know. But I do know that this is the last year of her contract with Lucasfilm. So, there's a couple of things that could happen. She could get fired. Probably not going to happen. Here's what's probably going to happen. There's two scenarios that can play out here with Kathleen Kennedy. One, they don't extend her contract and she transitions out and somebody else comes in. Or 2, they do extend her contract and she ends up staying on for the foreseeable future. I think there's a 50-50% chance for either. I really do. And I think we will get an answer at Star Wars Fest, at the Fan Fest. I think it's in Anaheim this year, right? I'm kind of thinking about going, to be honest. I don't know, though. It's an expensive trip to go down to California. But nonetheless, we'll be reporting on it here regardless. But I think the answer to both of those questions will happen at that con. It seems the likely place to announce it. It's kind of in the middle of the year, so it's a good time to talk about it. People want to know these answers, and I think it's at that point we'll get an answer. Now, like I said, I think it's a 50-50 shot. Chapek could just say, I don't care. It's making money. Let's bring her in. Or he could decide to transition her out. It'd be really interesting. And really, the future of the franchise kind of depends on that, because she's just going to keep running it into the ground for sure. I don't see her fixing anything. I mean, look what's going on right now with High Republic, the way people are just spitting on fans and treating them like trash and talking about how they don't matter. Are you a good enough fan for Star Wars? Are you a good enough bootlicker to be a Star Wars fan, basically? That's kind of the message I get from the High Republic people. Very narcissistic, egotistically driven people. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm hoping that they get her out of there. But then, who are they going to replace her with? Because then you got the optics, right? What are they going to put Jon Favreau in there with him? Well, it's another white man. No, you can't do that. So either way, it's kind of a shit show. We'll see what happens, but I just, I hope they get rid of her. And I think a lot of people agree with me there. Oh, and one last little thing that I wanted to touch on is Rian Johnson basically came out and, admits that he doesn't care about canon. That really doesn't surprise anybody. Anybody that's watched The Last Jedi knows that this dude could give a damn about what came before his movie. So I just thought that this was funny and at least worth poking fun of a little bit. Never forget that Kathleen Kennedy is the reason that this clown show ever got involved in Star Wars in the first place, which is all the more reason why I'm just hoping they can her and get rid of her. What's going on with this guy's movie trilogy? That's another question. I wonder if he's even going to get it. And the funny thing is, they've not outright said he's not getting it. So it might still be in the cards. Imagine if Kathleen Kennedy is brought back, this clown gets that trilogy 100%. I think she's waiting to see. And I think she's probably talked to him. Look, we're going to wait and see if I get renewed. If I get renewed, I'm going to bring you back, Brian, and you can go on and keep on crapping on fans. Then you can have a field day calling fans trash on Twitter again. It'll be like the good old days where we sit around and piss on Star Wars merchandise. It'll be a good time, Ryan. Just sit tight, be quiet, just wait. If I get re-upped, you'll be back, and me and you be laughing again. So we'll see what happens. But I just thought this was interesting. A lot of people have already talked about this. I really wasn't shocked by it, but it's funny to see that he's finally admitting that he could give a damn about history and canon. So what a mess past 2 days for announcements. I really think I might read the Rise of Skywalker book so I can see if there's anything else in there that's hilarious. It all comes out. I was at C2E2. I wish I had gone and bought that book in advance, and then I could have sat down and really dug through it, made a video on it. It's too late. Who would have known that it would have had this kind of clown show in it? But either way, yeah, they took it right from Dark Empire, and now they're having Rey's dad be a clone. Who else is going to be clones? This is stupid. And then Kathleen Kennedy gets to keep her job. We'll see. We'll find out soon enough. I'm calling it. They'll announce either she's fired or staying at Star Wars Fan Fest. We'll see. Anyway, that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all this. What do you think of this clown show? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Also, throw a like up if you would. Also, tell me in the comments, do you think they're going to keep her? Do you think they're going to get rid of her? I'd like to see what you guys think. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the clone stuff, too? What do you think about them ripping off ideas from the EU and then acting like the EU doesn't exist? And, yeah. So, throw a like up, leave a comment, share the video. All that's really important stuff. Also, make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.